What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Our Brains Hurt. Thank you so much for hanging out on this awesome October day. This coming Friday, October 18th, if you guys are in the Maryland, D.C. area, head over to Morseburgers Tavern in Catonsville, Maryland, just south of Baltimore. Check out my band, The Blanks. We're playing a show. We're opening for Subtastics, Luxury Teeth, and Skyjacker. That's Morseburgers Tavern, Catonsville, Maryland, Friday, October 18th. It'll be awesome to see you there. Now, let's get to the show.
Well, they needed a jingle for their stupid little show, so they called up the Jasons and we said, fuck no. Then they called us again and they gave us $20 and we wrote them a song that said, your podcast sucks. Then they gave us more money and they asked us really nice and we finally gave in and we said, alright, I'll write you a song, but it's gonna be a clone of a Screeching Weasel song that we heard a while ago. So we wrote them a jingle and it sounded really rad. It was the best little jingle that their pockets ever had, but the file got corrupted and the email didn't work. Now they're stuck without a jingle singing our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. In a very non-copyright infringing sort of way.
What up, Ron?
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you, dude.
Good to see you. Matt's in the house. Matt's in the house.
What's up?
So NOFX.
Fuck talking about NOFX. Let's talk about Fat Wreck.
Oh, it's done.
That's crazy.
Fat Mike was like, I'm done with NOFX and I'm done with Fat Records.
Fat Records isn't done. Mike sold his or is selling his.
It's not Fat Records anymore.
It's not.
It's Hopeless. Hopeless bought Fat.
Well,
Now-
not in its entirety.
What do you mean not in its entirety?
Did Aaron sell her 50% of Fat
Yes,
to
there's
Hopeless?
no more Fat Records. It's Hopeless Records now.
Now, do we know? Okay, so I've read the posts that have been made from the blog sites, but Fat hasn't made an official post or made like. Are we all just going off of what we read on like the Punk News and those types of sites? Because that's all I've seen is that these big, like 2 nights ago, oh, big news, Fat has sold everything to Hopeless. But
As far as I know, and I don't know, going on what I've seen from different reports, Fat Records, like Fat Mike, and Aaron, all like there is no more Fat Records. Hopeless Records bought all of Fat Records,
yeah,
and it is now Hopeless Records, and
Crazy.
Hopeless Records is the new umbrella.
yeah.
Well, Hopeless
So-
Records was bought by a subsidiary of a major label years ago.
Was it?
Oh yeah. If
I
you
don't
go
know anything
listen to
about Hopeless.
Hopeless Records back in the day in the 90s was a fucking rad record label.
Yeah, I remember that, but I haven't.
But yeah,
Honestly, I didn't even know Hopeless Records was still a thing until I found out that they bought Fat.
Well, yeah, because they don't exist in like the underground punk scene anymore. Because during the time when like all the major labels were buying up all the punk rock labels, like
Yeah.
Victory Records sold.
Yeah.
Hopeless was one of those, and that's why their entire like all the music on Hopeless Records changed from like cool punk rock into like screamo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some cool punk bands. Hopeless has some cool punk bands right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not wrong. Like right now, I think they're back. It's like I don't think they like a lot of labels. Like they reestablished themselves as an independent again recently. So like Hopeless is no longer owned by like another business conglomerate. They're their own independent again. Just like a lot of labels bought back their catalogs and reestablished themselves as an independent business. I hate to say this because if you'd asked me 30 minutes ago, I could have named 4 or 5 bands, but there are some cool bands on Hopeless right now.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, I wonder what does that mean for the Fat bands that are on Fat right now? Like, what's that mean for Bad
Right.
Cop? What's that mean for Direct Hit?
Lagwagon.
What's
Yeah,
it mean for
for
Lagwagon?
Strung Out?
Yeah.
I mean, none of these bands. Well, I mean, some of these bands like Pairs and Direct Hit and the Bomb Pops and Bad Cop. Like there are some bands that need the help, But then there
Yeah.
are some of these bands like Lagwagon, they don't have any problem. Like
Yeah.
yeah, Strung Out, they're not they're not sitting there going, oh no, Fat Records doesn't exist anymore. What are we going to do?
I
All
mean,
these
they might be, because it really depends on how some of these people run their labels. Because, you know, Aaron is
Yeah.
who ran Fat Records, not Mike,
Yeah,
and Aaron really took care of bands.
Yeah.
yeah,
Are the people that
Fat was
run
known to
Hopeless
be
gonna?
like Fat was
Go ahead,
known to
man.
be a good payout. They were good with payouts, and
Yeah.
nobody was fucked on Fat. That was like
Yeah,
you know well known that everybody got
Yeah.
treated well on Fat and was paid what they were owed. And
yeah, and if a band like, Pears, who still like travels in a van, small van or whatever, if their van broke down, Fat would like turn around and like essentially like shell out money so they could continue their tour with like a new van.
yeah,
That's not
yeah,
a
but
thing that
also
a
there's
lot of
like
labels do.
there's so many unanswered questions. If this is real, like let's say this is real, Hopeless really did buy Fat. What does it mean for Fat? Does it mean that Hopeless bought Fat and they're going to all the bands that are currently signed to Fat are going to operate as Hopeless bands, or their contracts? Was I was told recently that Fat doesn't sign bands. Like I was told that bands on Fat don't have contracts. That like if you're on Fat, yes,
Yeah.
Strung Out's on Fat, but they're not contractually obligated to Fat. They can do whatever the
It's
fuck
like
they
album
want.
contracts. It's
Yeah,
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
they go album to album. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, let's say Hopeless really did buy Fat. The Fat name ceases to exist. Are all these bands going to be on Hopeless, or is Hopeless going to cherry pick who they want? I mean, there's a good possibility that Hopeless is buying the back catalog. Hopeless might just want, we just want to be able to re-release, like for the next 20 years, re-release NoFX records with like new variants and like make money off your back catalog.
Well, I just want to say to Dave Ron, if you're listening, Snub Records will sign Lagwagon. If you're listening.
My friend Brandon that owns
and
Punkerton
RKL.
Records. My friend Brandon that owns Punkerton Records out of Columbus, Ohio. He made a post 2 days ago, or like probably yesterday. He was like, any Fat bands that are looking for a label, Punkerton's ready. I was like,
hell yeah.
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 My guess is that some of the bands will probably stick with Hopeless, and some of the other bands will move on to other labels.
Yeah.
If Fat Records is indeed completely done, because I mean, are we all sure that both Mike and Aaron sold all of their stakes of
No,
Fat
I don't think
Hopeless?
anybody's sure of anything right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
There's a lot of unanswered questions that people, I don't know if you guys have done this, but I immediately went to like recent Fat posts on Instagram and Facebook, and there's a bunch of people like, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and like commenting on, hey, look at this picture from the NoFX's last show. Oh yeah, that's a cool picture, but let's talk about the elephant in the room. And the Fat's not, they haven't made any like public posts yet, but it's like there's a lot of unanswered questions. Like Hopeless might just be running Fat. They might keep the name. Like if I owned Hopeless Records, I would probably continue to run Fat as Fat because the name is Fat is a bigger name than Hopeless.
Yes.
Why would you get rid of the
people
name
that are Hopeless think that's wrong? They're stupid.
Yeah.
If you own Hopeless Records, whoever you are, if you own Hopeless Records and you're listening to this and you think that your label's name is bigger than Fat Wreck, you're stupid.
You are wrong.
Yeah. Why would you get rid of the name?
Yeah.
That would be an idiotic move.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also makes me think, and again, this is just me talking shit, but Mike, a year and a half ago, Mike started Bottles to the Ground. Did he know this was going to happen? Whenever, is this like a 2-year thing? Like, I know I'm going to end NoFX. I know as soon as NoFX ends, we're going to sell Fat and be done with Fat. But I don't want to be done with doing a label. So let me start this other little label where I can do my own shit.
Mike is extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
He is a very, very, very smart person. And he is always, there's a method to his madness. Yes, I'm sure he knew about this when he started planning NoFX's final tour, I'm sure that's when he started planning what am I going to do with Fat Records.
Yeah. Because like, let's be honest, he's pushing 60, his wife's pushing 6,
Yeah.
Ex-wife, but everybody still refers to her that way.
Yeah,
She's pushing 60. They both like, she might have just said, hey man, you're retiring your band. I'd kind of like to retire doing this bullshit.
totally.
Like we both know running a label, man. Even when it's small potatoes, it's kind of bullshit. Like if it's big, if you're fat and it's big,
it's annoying as shit. Yeah.
I mean, imagine like we're just dudes running little labels that nobody knows.
Yeah.
And we think it's bullshit. Imagine the bullshit of running a big label.
Yeah.
I will. Since we're on the subject, I'll give a shout out to all the Fat Wreck employees. Just number one for having to go through this shit and probably not knowing the future of what they're doing. And number two, for the time that I went to Fat Records and with Michelle, why can I not remember her last name or whatever? We'll just say Merch Slut. How about that? They got me a nice little like private tour of Fat, which is a small place. But the Fat Records employees, as soon as I walked in there for that, Michelle Parsons, that's her name. They made sure I had a freaking beer in my hand the entire time. Cool. And like when my beer started to get low, they were like, "You need another one?" And so like, they would not let me not have a fucking beer in my hand the whole time I was walking around that place. It was cool as shit. Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was told probably a year ago that there aren't many fat employees currently, like less than 5.
Yeah, There's not a lot, but the people that greeted me when I first walked in, just like put like a 6-pack of PBR up on the table, and we're just like, here you go, and
nice.
Yeah. It was cool. Super rad, and they treated me super fucking cool. So
nice.
Yeah.
Big shout out to whoever was working there at the time who took care of me while I was hanging out there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do have a quick Dave Ron story that I want to tell from this past weekend. So, my brother and I went to the final NoFX shows this past weekend out in LA. We went to Saturday and Sunday. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We didn't go to Friday. On Saturday we had VIP side stage passes, and which were not worth it. The side stage, when I got side stage passes in Ohio last year, they were incredible. I was on the stage. There was nothing separating us and the artist. This at San Pedro in California, it was horrible. But we were up on the side stage before Lagwagon went on, and Dave Ron's drum set, his drum kit was there, and he walked over and he was kind of starting to fuck with it. And it was my brother and I, and there was probably 5 or 6 other people right up there. And I was like, Dave Ron, I was like, crush it tonight. And he's like, yeah. And he comes in and shakes my hand. I was like, also, you were on my podcast a couple months ago. And he goes, oh yeah, it's Ron, right? I was like, yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Like,
that's great.
Not only did he know our podcast, but he knew which one I was, which was fucking like I was like, yeah. And it was the coolest thing ever. And then after they played this one of the stage hands there, she was breaking down, she picked up the set list, and there was all these dudes around me. They were like, hey, can you hold up the set list so we can take a picture of it? And like, she's like, yeah. She's holding it up and everybody's taking a picture of it. I was like, hey, can I have the set list? And she's like, yeah. And I just grabbed, and everybody's like, oh my God, like what the fuck? I was like, dude, you gotta ask. Yeah. So I have if you see right there,
oh, that's great,
is the that's from Dave Ron's drum set. That's Lagwagon's set list from NoFX's last show ever. So, which is pretty badass. So
that's one of the situations where you're like, don't neglect to ask. The worst they can say is no.
Yeah, she's holding it and they're all taking pictures of it, and she looks at me. I was like, hey, can I have that? She's like, yeah, here you go. I just rolled it up and put it in my pocket. They were like, ah.
That's awesome. So
it's crazy.
Did you get to go to a baseball game while you were out there?
I did not.
Did you get to watch the game you wanted to watch?
Yes, I got to watch the Mets Brewers with my brother.
Game 3. Yeah.
Game 3, and it's funny because right after the Matt hits me up, he's like, "I hope you guys were watching it still for the home run," and we were.
Yeah. I was like, I texted him the next morning. I was like, dude,
yeah,
tell me you guys kept the game on.
Yep.
To see that fucking Pete Alonso home run.
We did. We were pissed at that time, right before the home run.
Yeah.
But we were fucking going ape shit. And I mean, New York Mets fans, God bless us. We don't have anything. I mean, 1986 was our shit. And that's a long time ago.
Too.
Yes. And then we took the Phillies down.
Who's got AIDS now, Phillies fans?
That's right.
Where did you and your brother watch the game from? Did you go to a bar or
no, we were at his house. We were at his house in LA. Yeah.
Was that Friday?
That was Thursday night.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Thursday night. Oh, wait, was it Friday? Wait a second. Was it? No, it was Thursday because it was the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series. Yeah. Yeah, so it was awesome. It was great. And then yeah, just to have them, it's funny because when we were at the show on Saturday, there was some dude fucking around. I don't know if he was friends with one of the bands or whatever, but he was like with his kid. He had a Mets hat on, and it was like the first game of the Philly series. And after every band, like the Descendants would play, and then he'd be like, "All right, here's a score." We'd be like talking back and forth, like, "All right, the Mets are." Yeah, it's like so many Met fans. Unfortunately for humans, there's a lot of Met fans in there. But yeah,
it's funny when you think about that. Like you would think, like from an outsider's perspective, you would think you're in LA. There's gonna be a lot of Dodgers fans, but LA is a town of implants, man. Like
a lot of New New Yorkers in LA.
Yeah,
not as many as in Florida, but a lot. There's still a lot in LA.
Hey guys, Trev from the Struggling Artist Podcast, and I want to talk to you real quick about Struggling Artist Record Club. The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
Mike, talk about your NOFX comp, because I know this is one of the reasons we're doing this show tonight. So an hour and 15 minutes into it, let's talk about why you're here.
Yeah. So a little bit of backstory. Been a NOFX fan since I was like 14. I had an art class when I was a sophomore in high school, and this girl Kim Cole, I was listening to, God damn, I can't remember what it was. I think it was White Zombie, Los Exorcitos, or it was some metal album, and she asked me if I liked punk, and at that point, the only thing that I knew that was punk was through metal, which was the Misfits. And I was like, yeah, I like the Misfits. And I said, I really like the Metallica Garage Days. I vividly remember I had that little, this is 1994 or 95. Yeah. I still have my Sony Sport yellow Walkman. So I'm in my art class where we were allowed to listen to our Walkmans or our, CD, whatever, CD Discman, whatever the fuck they were called. Yeah. So I had that, Garage Days tape on me, and I pull it out. I was like, well, I really like this, and I like the Misfits. And she was like, that's not punk. And she said, tomorrow I'm going to bring you something. And, God bless her, she brought me a copy of, see, I've told this story before, and I think I'm wrong. What year did Heavy Petting Zoo come out?
97?
90, no.
Or 98?
Heavy Petting Zoo? 96.
Okay.
Was it that
So
early?
Yeah, well,
You
so
sure? I'm
yeah,
gonna use
because
my Google machine real quick.
I saw them on tour for Heavy Petting
Okay.
Zoo in February of '96. I believe it was February, may have been March, but um, but yeah, 96. It came out in '96.
so I've told this story so many
Yeah,
times
January
wrong.
31st, 1996. You're right.
Jeez. So this is my own story about how I got into NoFX and basically became, the huge fan of punk rock that I am. And I've told it wrong this whole time. For the longest time, I thought Kim Cole let me borrow her copy of Heavy Petting Zoo, but the timeline doesn't make sense. So she must have let me borrow her copy of Punk and Drublic.
Okay.
But either way, she brought me a copy of a NoFX cassette, said, go home, listen to this, keep it through the weekend. I vividly remember it was a Thursday. She was like, you can keep it through the weekend, bring it back to me on Monday. I fucking want it back. Dub a copy, do whatever you want, but just get into this band.
Yeah.
I've been a NoFX fan ever since.
Nice.
So, I said, like, whenever the announcement that they were, going on their final couple years of touring and that was going to be it, I said to some friends, I was like, man, if there's any, because I'd already done my Operation Ivy tribute album, I'd already done the Metallica tribute album,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, if there's any band that I owe my love of punk rock to, it's obviously NoFX.
Yeah.
I've got to do a tribute album. And right then, in that very moment, I knew whoever I was talking to, I don't remember who I was talking to, I knew what the cover art was going to be. I was like, I'm going to do a rip on I Heard They Suck Live,
Yeah.
but I'm going to call the album I Heard They Broke Up.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty clever. I mean, if they're breaking up, and my goal was to have it out before they broke up, which I did accomplish 50% of my goal, but I'll get into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was that was the idea. Like when I found out they were breaking up or they were retiring now, as they're going to call it, but retiring. I heard they retired does not sound as cool as I heard they broke up.
Not at all. Yeah.
So I knew who I was going to have do the art. I knew the name, and I knew it was going to be a comp. I didn't know it was going to turn into a triple LP and a double CD. I didn't know it was going to be the Bandcamp version was going to have 64 songs and the CD vinyl version was going to have 62 songs. I didn't know that I was going to be that ambitious, but here we are. So, so Coffin Curse, my small label, I released. I'm holding the double album CD right here. These actually came out in March. The digital came out. The digital and the CD released the same day back in March. The vinyl still hasn't arrived. I'll get into that. But yeah, so double CD, triple vinyl. The vinyl is it's going to be a gatefold, like high quality. Like when it finally starts shipping, it's going to blow people away. Like we went above and beyond. But even this double CD is fucking badass. Like Digipack double CD, like I said, 62 songs. I was crazy fucking ambitious. I went too far. I accepted way too many bands, but it is what it is. The CD issue was nothing. The Bandcamp digital issue was nothing. There was nothing about that was hard. Like I said, the CD came out on time. The Bandcamp dropped on time. But the vinyl has been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed to hell. I still haven't even received. So my first set of test presses came in, like I said, triple vinyl. Disc 1, great, no issues. Disc 2, great, no issues. Disc 3, absolutely fucking littered with issues. Had pops on. There was a full song missing. It had some popping throughout the full test press on disc 3. And it had some phasing issues, which if you're not familiar with phasing issues, if you're listening to this, it's just like kind of you hear the volume dips, and it's kind of like if you were running a needle over water, you hear like so just literally.
Who did you use? And I can cut this out if you don't want me to say it.
No, it's cool. Fuck them. I'll never use them again. They can eat my ass. It's a company called Mobanico out of Taiwan, China. Taiwan's not in China. Taiwan's their own country. So Taiwan.
Unless you ask China, then yeah. Gotcha.
Now I will say this: I've never used any other company. For CDs, I use Atomic Disc.
Same
for
here.
For tapes, I use a couple different companies, mostly Duplication.ca out of Canada.
Yeah.
But for vinyl, I've never used anyone but Mobinico. For the first 7 years, they did me nothing but great. I had nothing but good things to say about Mobinico.
Never heard of
Now,
them. Okay.
back in 2023, when I released my Metallica tribute album, they delayed the shit out of it and made a ton of fucking. They put all the blame on Metallica's camp, even though I had my paperwork was right. Long story short, I literally spoke to Metallica's manager, like the fucking their business manager, like the dude you've seen this motherfucker in documentaries. I spoke to that guy on the phone 3 times, and this dude was like, "You're doing nothing wrong. These people are jerking you around. They're just trying to delay you to death. You've done everything right. So, shame on me. They fucked me royally and ended up being, it was like about a 2.5 month delay on the Metallica tributes. Now, shame on me. I gave him a second chance with this NoFX record, and I will be honest, it was a huge mistake in judgment. You should not let somebody fuck you over once and use them again. I had friends, the guys in my band, they were all like, "Don't use them again. That's a bad idea." But the price tag, man, like this record, triple vinyl, 300 units, gatefold, it cost me $7,400.
Wow.
It was Mobinico's price was $7,400.
Yeah.
In the US, it was going to be closer to 9,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, it was the dollars.
Yeah.
But yes, they fucked me on the timeline, and there was delays with the Metallica record, but it's still quality wise, it's still 10 out of 10. Like Mobinico's never done anything to me quality wise. It's always just been delays. They delay you to death. And even then, like I said, for the first 7 years, I had nothing but kind things to say about it. I never had delays. I actually released a record in 2022 or maybe early 2023 for a band from Nashville called No Loves. Their record came in 4 months early. Like I was literally given an 8-month turn because we ordered 700. No, we were 1,000 units of the No Loves record, and I was told 8 months. It came in 4 months. The test presses came in 30 days, and 3 months later, all 1,000 units shipped.
Wow.
And me and Jimbo, the singer of No Loves, we were both like, "Holy fucking shit! What just happened? This shit came in like insanely early." And that was the reason. That was the main reason. The No Loves record was the main reason. I was like, maybe the Metallica record was more of a Metallica issue than Mobinico, and maybe Metallica's manager was bullshitting me. So that's why I said, nah, I'm going to use Mobinico for this NoFX record because of the price. Like I'm saving almost $2,000.
Yeah.
But right now I'm sitting on this number 3. I'm still waiting on the new test press. I rejected the test press on July 29th. Fast forward to what it's today is around like October 10th or some shit. I still have not received the new test press.
Damn.
I had a phone conversation with them Monday of this week, and I was like, "Listen, I either want my test press in the next 2 weeks, or I want all of my money back."
Yeah.
Because I'm at the point. I don't know if I should even say this because people listen to this. I don't want to give anybody the idea that I'm giving up. I'm at the point.
If you want.
Well, between you guys and myself, I'm at the point where I'm like, give me my money back, and I can just, because this thing sold out in pre-sale. 300 units sold out in pre-sale. Wow. Now, the fact of the matter is I sold 380 units. That leaves me, when it comes in, I'll have 20 leftovers for any shit that happens. Ron, you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
You ship a dude, because I sold this internationally.
Right.
I ship a dude this NoFX record in Great Britain, and he says it's been 6 months, it hasn't arrived.
Right.
I feel like it's my responsibility to have some back stock just in case some shit happens like this, so I can make it right with some people who like have some lost in transits or whatever. So I ordered 300 units. I sold 280. I'm at the point, like, this is the part where you probably should cut this out, but like, I'm at the point where I'm like, if I don't get this test press soon, I've got so many nasty emails coming my way, so many people being impatient, which I get it. I advertised that it was supposed to ship on July 15th. Yeah. It's fucking
October.
August. It's 3 months late now, and it's not going to be, they're not going to be in before the new year. Like, this shit's not going to ship until early 2024 or 2025. So I'm at the point where, like, if I don't get the test press, I'm about to just tell them, give me my fucking money back. and I will refund everybody's order, and this will just never come out on vinyl because the CDs, 500 units of CDs, I have like 12 left sitting here in the house that I haven't decided what to do with. But that shit's already shipped. People have had their CDs since May.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, man, I just feel like this is such. I don't want to bail on it, but it's so stressful. So
yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Here's the part where I'll get back into like things that I don't care to be included.
Yeah.
But like basically, if it wasn't for the delays, this thing would be, cooking with gas. Like I said, the CDs came out on time. The digital did well. If you go to the Bandcamp and look at the Coffin Curse Bandcamp page and look at the downloads, that's this NOFX comp is the most downloaded thing I've released. So this across the board is the most successful thing I've done. 300 units sold out in pre-sale vinyl. 500 CDs sold out in pre-sale. I think there's been over 200 purchase downloads.
Nice.
And it's the one project that I haven't lost a boatload of money on.
Fuck yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But when the records come in, it's going to blow people away. It's just been a very stressful time because, Ron, as well as I do that people are impatient. And I love the people that have been patient, but the nasty emails and like there's a handful of dudes that are like these old, I mean, like we're in our 40s, we're in that category. There's some older punk rock dudes that think that, like I've offered a couple handfuls of people their money back. Nobody's accepted, but there's some dudes that email me weekly. Hey man, I talked to you last week. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like I said, follow my social media. I will update you when I have an update.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that thinks, like, I've been told, a couple of people told me, maybe you should just make weekly updates. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Go on Instagram and go like, hey, no news is bad news.
Yeah.
But like the record's great, man. Like I said, 62 songs. There's a lot of bands on here that have been on Our Brains Hurt. Fucking Steel Boy, Curse Words, of course, my band Reckless Threats on here.
Nice.
I'm not going to name all the bands, but there's a lot of Our Brains Hurt bands that have been on your podcast that are on the record.
Nice. It's
a solid fucking comp. Like I haven't had anyone give me any negative reviews as far as like the track listing. Yeah. For being 62 songs, there's no snoozers on it. It's a pretty solid fucking comp. I'm really proud of it. Like I said, the CD's totally sold out. I'm not going to repress it. Fat was nice enough to give me like a pretty good deal.
Cool.
And I'm not going to go above what they agreed to let me press.
Yeah.
Like I could easily press some more, like, especially if they're being sold and like this, like I'm so small potatoes. You guys know good and damn well that I could go right now and repress 500 CDs and sell it and make a boatload of money.
Yeah.
But it's shit. I know that's shitty of me to do, and I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm so small potatoes that they wouldn't blink an eye if I did it. But I'm not going to. So if you want the CD, sorry, it's sold out. I'm not going to repress it. Like I said, there was 500 sold, so there might be some popping up on Discogs at some point. But the digital download's still available if you go to the Coffin Curse Bandcamp. So just, on Bandcamp, just search for Coffin Curse Knox. Our Bandcamp is just Coffin Curse KNOX. It's still on there. It's, as far as I know, it's never going to come down because Matt mentioned something about Bandcamp breaking, telling people they can't upload cover songs anymore. But when Matt told me that a couple of days ago, that was news to me because they haven't taken any of my cover song uploads down. I don't think maybe they're going to like keep people from uploading new cover songs. Who knows? Yeah. But it's available on Bandcamp. It's cheap as shit, like $10 for fucking 62 or 64. Nice. The digital version has 2 bonus songs. It's a rad comp. I'm super proud of it, and I would never have been in a band. Straight up, never would have been in a band if it wasn't for NOFX. Because like I grew up a metalhead, and I always wanted to do a band. But when I was a kid, I was like, I'm trying to play guitar. Yeah. So from like the age of 13 to 16, I tried fiddling with the guitar, and I never even learned a fucking chord. I just couldn't, like, it wasn't in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And then my friend Timmy, he was like, so I can't pick up the drums, you can't pick up the guitar. He's like, why don't we flip? Why don't we switch? He's like, I'll give you the drum set, you give me that guitar. So I had this little Strat copy. It was called Area Pro 2 was the brand, but it was just a Strat copy. My dad bought it for me for like my 13th or 14th birthday. So I traded my friend Timmy that Strat copy. He gave me like a fucking Ludwig pretty killer drum set that I still have to this day. And I learned how to play drums in the 6 months. And, you know, within a year I was in a band, and I've been playing in punk bands ever since. And it's honestly, it's all because NOFX is like, there's other bands that I was inspired by, but that was the band that got me into that style of music. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have, not saying I wouldn't have become a fan of punk rock, but who knows, like maybe I would have become a fan of like things that got popular. I probably would have been a fan of Green Day and The Offspring and Rancid and fucking Blink-182 when punk blew up.
Yeah.
But, you know, like my business partner is a huge fan of those bands, but he doesn't know Lagwagon, Strung Out, Propagandhi, NOFX. Like literally, like my business partner at Punk and Drag is a huge fan of all of the punk that got popular. Like name a band that was on a major label that did well, AFI, Offspring, you know, Good Charlotte, name any of those bands, and he loves them and he thinks he's a big punker, and that's great. But I'm like, dude, you very fucking heard the Suicide Machines.
Yeah.
And that's not me shitting on him. Like, it's just,
totally.
That's what I would have been like. I would have been that dude too. Like, because like I never got into like, you know, independent. Like, I don't know a lot of the independent death metal bands that I was a fan of what was popular: Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. Yeah. Like I didn't know about Mayhem and fucking anything independent. So thank you, Kim Cole. Thank you, NOFX.
Fuck yeah.
I will say a big regret, and there's nothing I can do about it because I'm on the side of the fence that thinks that NOFX will never play again. I only got to see him once. I saw him for 30 minutes at Warped Tour in 2001, and Fat Mike walked up to the mic. It was at Pittsburgh, 2001. Fat Mike walked up to the mic, made a couple jokes, and then he said, I hope you guys like reggae, because that's what we're doing for the next 30 minutes. And they proceeded to play only reggae and dub for 30 minutes. And at the time, in retrospect, it's pretty fucking rad. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
But at the time, me and my wife were like, holy shit, they didn't play. They literally played, I think, like maybe Eat the Meek or something. Like they played one or two songs I'd heard.
Yeah.
But they didn't play anything that anyone wanted, and the crowd booed.
Right.
That set's on. You can find that on YouTube. And throughout the set, you could hear audible boos. Yeah. And they were just doing it to be fucking like they're on Warped Tour. They're bored and they wanted to be trolls, and they got off on it. And for them, it was probably the coolest day of that tour.
Totally.
But that's my one NOFX experience. The fact, and like friends are. I've had people bust my balls recently. Like, you put out a tribute album to your favorite punk band and you only saw them once. I'm like, man, there's a lot. I have an Alkaline Trio tattooed. I've never seen Alkaline Trio live. I live, growing up in West Virginia, we didn't get shit. And now I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. You would think, oh, you live in Knoxville. It's probably, we don't get fucking shit here. I've lived here since 2012. And the four biggest punk bands that have come to this town are Agent Orange, the Misfits, Social Distortion, and the Menzingers are the four biggest punk shows we've had since I've lived here in 2012, because everyone skips Knoxville and goes to Nashville.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you guys don't know, you guys don't even understand how good you have it living in that Baltimore, DC area. Like,
I know. Yeah.
You guys get fucking everything and we get nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally talked to Fletcher from Pennywise about what it would take to get Pennywise here. And he was like, we might play Nashville in 2025. We're never going to play Knoxville. That is just too small of a market. And Knoxville also is notorious for a very high entertainment tax, which keeps bands away.
Yeah, that sucks.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I mean, I have I saw NoFX for the first time last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that I don't know how that happened, but it happened. And but does anybody do Six Pack Girls on that comp?
Yeah, I believe so.
Who
Let me
does
check.
that?
So the writing on this is so damn
Because we're
small.
covering my band is covering that next week, and probably for the next 3 shows we played this year.
It's crazy to me that you guys have
Because I demanded that we cover that.
combined seen no effects just a handful of times.
Yeah,
It's crazy
3
to me.
times. Yeah,
I've seen them like 20 sometimes.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I've seen them 4 different times, but it's only been at 2 different shows.
yeah.
So I don't really count it as 4 different times. Like,
Six Pack Girls is not on there.
no, god damn it.
I actually have. So I have a. This will happen.
Yeah.
I have a goal for not next year, but in 2026, I want to release a volume 2 of this.
Okay.
But I want it to be a double 7-inch.
Cool.
7 inches are cheaper. 7 inches
Yeah.
don't have the delays
Yeah.
of 12 inches. So I have a goal to do a volume 2 NoFX tribute with a whole different gimmick. It's not going to be I heard this.
Yeah.
It's not going to. I'll use the same artist for my cover art,
Cool.
and it'll be another take on another, like it'll be a take on Punk and Drublic or White Trash.
Nice.
I'm thinking White Trash. Thinking of like
Yeah.
I'll do a riff on White Trash Tubes and a bean.
Yeah.
So the artwork will be a riff on a NoFX record, but it's going to be a double 7-inch. And so it's going to be a limited amount of songs, but it's this list. I have a list of 10 songs
Yeah.
that I was bummed that no one covered on this comp.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So like I have this list. I was like, man, nobody did these songs, and I'm like, because
Yeah,
I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He was like, I can't believe no one did this, or I can't believe no one did this.
Yeah,
and I was like, I can't believe no one did this. And
Yeah.
like one of my friends' bands, they ended up doing Cheese, Where's My Slice, which is a great cover.
Yeah.
But I was like, please do this song. I can't remember what
Yeah.
it was. I was like, please fucking do this song. And I was like, I'll even pay for your recording if you do this song. And they still ended up doing the song they wanted to do.
Wow.
I was like,
Yeah.
God. There's a lot. The crazy
Yeah.
thing about this comp is, and people need to go. I'm not going to read them. Please, even if you don't want to pay for it, just please go to the Bandcamp. If you're listening to this and you didn't even know this existed, Coffin Curse Records, NoFX Tribute. It's called I Heard They Broke Up. It's on Bandcamp. You can go there and just stream it for free. It's solid as fuck.
Yeah.
But there are so many deep cuts. Like I was blown away when bands were turning me in like so many songs off of the NoFX comp, like 48. What is it called? 48 songs that we.
Oh yeah.
The comp that's all like the B-side shit.
Yeah.
There's probably, I think there's like 15 songs on my comp that are NoFX B-sides that they didn't even put on albums.
Wow. Cool.
Like that's how solid their B-sides were that people want to cover.
Yeah. It's true.
Crazy.
But yeah, so in the future, I'm going to do another NoFX tribute that's going to have the songs that I hate that didn't, get used.
Yeah. Cool.
And Six Pack Girls is definitely on that list.
Fuck yeah.
I have it on my phone, but I would have to diddle around with. I'm recording on the phone right now for this podcast.
Yeah. Awesome.
So what was the best part, Ron, of your Los Angeles experience? What was the best part for you? Like,
oh man.
Was it spending a shit ton of money?
Yeah, that was it's funny. You walk into that place and you just walk right by the merch booth and you see all these insanely awesome t-shirts. And it's just like, I want every fucking one of those.
Yeah.
The posters were fucking awesome. They had day specific posters, of course. The merch was incredible. But I mean, the best, being that close up and just watching them take the stage for the last time. They always come out to the Time Warp from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
So yeah, just being like right against the stage for them doing that for the last time was fucking wild. Because like you, like, you know, I got into NoFX in probably 94 ish. My intro to NoFX was White Trash, Two Heaves and a Bean. I love that album. It's the most important NoFX album to me. I always say that Ribbed is my favorite, and it probably is still. But White Trash, Two Heaves and a Bean was my intro to NoFX, and like Stick It in My Eye, She's Gone, like all Liza and Louise is probably my favorite NoFX song of all time.
Yeah.
You know,
I get-
those, yeah, that album is just and they played Sticking in My Eye, they played She's Gone, they played Bob, they played, you know, they played a lot of that shit. But they also, like, Fat Mike wrote a song just for that last night that they've never played before. They'll obviously never play again. It's not going to be recorded. They wrote it for the crowd, and it was really cool. You can
Oh,
go on YouTube.
that was a question I was going to ask you. Is
Yeah.
so they're not recording it?
No, it was for that show. It was only for Sunday night. Fat Mike wrote it for us, the people who were there on Sunday night. You could watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Somebody will end up ripping that audio and putting it online somewhere, I bet.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's funny because he was like, Fat Mike gave this like really touching intro for the song, and then El Jefe's like, "What are we playing?" And Mike's like, "Really?" It's like the song that I just fucking taught you in the trailer that you fucking didn't remember how to play back there. Like, it was. I just started laughing my ass off because they're just so funny together. But like, yeah, it was cool. And then they played like the first two songs they ever wrote together. One song called NOFX, and the other song An Attack. You know, it was just it was cool. And there was so many people on stage. Everybody from any punk band, you know, I mean, like fucking what's his name? Tim Armstrong was there. Brett Gurewitz was there. The dude from Offspring was there. Fucking Mike Herrera was there. In fact, Mike Herrera was the one blocking my view when I was on the side stage trying to watch the Lagwagon.
Fucking what's his nuts from the Misfits was there.
Jerry Only.
Jerry Only from Misfits was there.
Yeah, and it's funny because I guess on was it Saturday night or Sunday night? It was Sunday night. They were like, oh, Saturday night. He was like, you know, NoFX is all about inclusivity. He's like, look at all these fucking kids on stage because everybody had their kids. And Fat Mike's like, it's weird. There's all these fucking kids over here. And then he's like, and Fat Mike's like, I don't know if you guys like the Joker movies, but we have a little person here too. And it was the dude from the Joker. I don't know if you saw the Joker.
Foley Ado.
Yeah.
The new one.
Well, no, the first one. The first one.
The first one. Yeah.
So you know the little person in that movie that he's friends with. He was there. And that dude's all tatted up. But I guess they hide it in the movie though. But he walks out and he's like, yeah, you know, and he was like right up front on Saturday and Sunday.
Wow.
Fat Mike's daughter and ex-wife Erin were there, of course. Saturday when they were playing, Fat Mike's daughter came running up to him at one point and asked if he could play the fuck is it? He has a what's his name? God damn it, stickers on my bass. I can't see it from here. Tony Sly song. The Tony Sly song. Yeah, because Tony Sly's wife and kids were there too, so they played that song. That was a tearjerker. Yeah, but it was just great. It was, you know, I couldn't have asked for anything a better send off to be there watching them do it. You know, it was great. It was awesome.
On the last day on Sunday.
Yeah,
did they play Lori Myers?
No, they didn't play. So I didn't see Lori Myers, so they must have played that on Friday.
Yeah,
I also didn't see Liza and Louise. They must have played that on Friday as well.
I wonder. I assume that girl, the keyboard player, she's probably the one.
Katrina, yeah.
Recently, she's the one that does the Kim Shattuck, Lori Myers part.
Right.
But you know, I mean, during that last song on Sunday, I saw, you know, Polly Van Dam from the Bomb Pops, or not
Mhm.
Bomb Pops anymore, but from the Polly
Yeah.
Van Dam band.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was on stage, and Stacy D from Bad Cop was on stage.
Yeah.
And I saw Polly made a really cool post where she was like, during that whole like that last song, when the state, like you're talking about, the stage was full of like celebrity punks.
Yeah.
There were only two women on that stage that weren't in bands.
Yeah,
Like there
yeah.
were women on stage, but the only
Yeah,
two
yeah.
women from bands on stage were Polly and Stacy D.
Yeah.
So I thought
Yeah.
I guess she made a really like poignant post about
Right,
how it
right.
was crazy for her growing up,
Right.
being a big fan of NoFX and being on that stage for that last performance,
Yeah.
and how did this ever happen in my life,
Right,
kind
right.
of thing.
Yeah. It's wild. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's
So
crazy.
what do you guys think? I'm sorry, I'm asking questions
No,
on your
do
own
it.
podcast, but there's just a couple things that like are like I'm inquisitive about.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that they'll do Punk and Drublick moving forward without NoFX? Because it makes a lot of money.
Who knows? Probably. Who knows? Depends on who runs it, I guess.
I get
Yeah.
I guess it's not a NoFX specific. Yeah.
And
I don't know, but I also heard Warped Tour is coming back next year.
Yep. Yeah, Warped Tour's coming back.
Which is fucking crazy because it was
weird.
like there was only like
Weird.
1 year off then, right? Or 2 years, like if that.
No.
They've been gone.
think
They've been gone for a little while.
Yeah,
Really?
like 2014.
Yeah.
Really? 2014 was the last Warped Tour?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. I thought it was way more recent
And-
than that.
And Ron, the chick that's been playing with NoFX, like the keyboards and singing the chick parts,
Yeah.
it's Karina Denike.
Karina,
She
not
used to-
Katrina. Yeah.
Yeah, she used to
Dance
be
Hall
one of the
Crashers.
the two singers from Dance Hall Crash. She also
Yeah.
has her own stuff. She has a full length album called Under Glass that is like one of the greatest fucking albums
Yeah.
of all time.
Oh wow.
I have it on vinyl. It's fucking amazing. It's so
Yeah.
good.
So when I went to the Columbus, Ohio show last year, I had side stage VIP passes, and I was right up against the front. And those passes were so awesome that I actually got a picture with Corinna. Sorry, I keep saying Katrina. With Corinna during one of their songs. He actually came up and took a picture with me,
Oh, that's cool.
and it was
I think I remember you telling me that actually.
yeah. It was, yeah. And she sings a lot of their reggae ska stuff. She'll sing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's wild. Like I have so many unanswered questions. Like the whole, what's going to happen with Fat? What'll happen with Balls to the Ground? Will Punk and Drublick continue to be a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, another thing. Like here's something that people haven't been talking about recently, but it was spoken a lot about. It might have even been brought up on your podcast with Mike. There was talk that this wasn't them retiring or break. They were just no longer going to tour. That was said in multiple different interviews. Members of the band said, we're still going to release records. We're going to be the punk rock. I mean, Smelly said in an interview, we're going to be the punk rock Beatles. We'll keep releasing albums. We're just not going to tour. But then they released this big, article a couple days ago. I don't know if it was USA Today or whatever the big news outlet that released the article, that like the tagline of the article was, they're not breaking up, they're retiring, and it's probably for the best. And that was like the teaser for you to read the article. I
Yeah.
didn't read the article because I just didn't have a chance because I was driving when I saw the post. But it makes me think, like, what happened to them still doing recordings? Like, that's from what it seems like now they're done. They're not going to do that. So
Especially if he sold Fat. Why would he do it? Because I don't. I mean, he told Matt and I. He had a dramatic pause,
Yeah.
and then he told Matt and I. He's like, and because this was last year, he said next October, when we play in LA, that will be the last time that I ever play with those guys. And he's like, I don't lie, I don't talk shit. He's like, I'm telling you right now, that will be the last time that I ever play with those guys. And I have to take him for his word. And that's why I don't think people keep saying, oh, they're going to be back in 2 years. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, you also have to, it's like, what a fucking ultimate troll move. People just keep saying, oh, they'll come back whenever they need money, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then you were there, you saw it,
Yeah.
that fucking reunion tour 2028 shirt they
Yeah,
put
yeah,
out.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about being the ultimate troll.
Yeah,
Dude,
totally.
did you see? So obviously, you probably saw it in person. I just saw pictures. The front of the shirt was great because it's them looking all old and
Yeah.
geriatric, and it says
In
reunion tour
wheelchairs and shit.
2028.
Yeah, yeah.
But the back of it, did you see what the back of the shirt was?
No, what was it?
It's you can find it online.
Yeah.
Somebody took a picture and posted it. It's a made up tour routing.
Uh-huh.
It's like 200 some odd dates, but it
Yeah.
lists all these cities, and it's actually kind of fucking cool. It lists Knoxville, it lists Asheville, North Carolina. It
Oh,
lists
funny.
it lists little cities that they haven't played a lot. They have played
yeah.
Knoxville before. I'm sure they've played Asheville.
Yeah.
But like if you look on this routing, it was like, Topeka, Kansas, and like
Yeah.
Lexington. Like my friend Josh from the Raging Nathans, he
Yeah.
was like, it's so cool they listed Dayton on there. He's like, NOFX on there fucking played Dayton.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny.
But obviously it's
hilarious.
just a big joke.
Right, totally.
Excuse me. But like it was so cool. I was like, oh, that shirt says Knoxville. Oh, it says
Yeah.
Asheville. That's fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
I mean, that's a long time to be a band.
It is. It
Very.
is, and it's funny to go back and see some of their videos, even from like from the mid '90s, like when they were touring, or the early '90s when they were touring with White Trash Chiefs and a Bean. They look like babies
Yeah.
when they're
Yeah.
playing those amazing fucking songs from that record. They're like babies, and it's like, fuck you for being that young and writing that many awesome fucking songs. It's like, it's crazy. They're playing like She's Gone and Sticking in My Eye to like 20 people in a VFW, and Fat Mike looks like he's 14. It's
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ, you wrote that then? Like, that's crazy.
It's crazy to think those dudes are still in their 50s. Like none of them are 60. Not
Yeah.
a single one of those dudes is 60 years old yet. They've been a band for 41 years.
Yeah.
They started when they were fucking teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Like-
Mike turns 60 next year. I believe he was born in 1965.
Yeah. I think he's close. Yeah. For sure.
Like I told Forrest the other day, a couple of weeks ago, we were just talking shit about this, like just waxing existential. And I said, like, Reckless Threat started. I'm the only original member of that band, but it started in 2018. I was 38. So if we lasted for 41 years, I would be 79 years old. And I was like, that's not going to fucking happen. And he was like, oh, I'm not going to be alive then.
Yeah,
But it's so crazy. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, but people think it can't be done. Like Bad Religion have been around longer than NOFX. Those dudes are older than NOFX,
Yeah.
and I bet I said this again to my band members when we were driving to a show recently. I said, when do you guys think Bad Religion will break up? And we all agreed we don't think they'll break up for another 10 years.
I heard they're doing it next year or the year
Really?
after. Yeah. I heard the reason that they haven't played any of the NOFX shows is because they're about to do the same thing in the next year or two.
Wow.
A 2-year final, we're out of here. That's what I've heard. I forget where I heard that from. It might have been, it wasn't Fat Mike, but it might have been one of our bigger guests that I don't remember. But I heard that, like, because Bad Religion hasn't played any. They didn't play any of the NOFX shows.
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
is weird.
that would only make sense.
Yeah. But I heard that, like, after NOFX is done, they're about to do the same thing. That's what I heard. So who knows?
Are you guys privy to? Do you have any clue what happened with this recent Bad Religion? So like me and Forrest and like my wife and I were going separately, and Forrest and his wife were going separately. We had tickets to see him in Atlanta or Nashville. Yeah, Nashville. Yeah. We had tickets to see Bad Religion in Nashville, and that whole tour got canceled. They made a post saying that it was like health.
Family issues or something. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. They were going to come to DC, or like they were going to come to Matt. What is that? The new, not DC but Maryland, right? National Harbor.
Fillmore.
National Harbor at the casino.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But Yeah, that was wild. But I don't know which member that was affected by that or
Yeah.
what it was exactly, but um,
Vague booking like that always fucks with me because, like, I'm not like super conspiracy theorist guy, but it immediately like a lot of tours were being canceled for poor
Yeah.
ticket sales.
yeah,
And it immediately made me think like, was this really a health thing, or did they
yeah,
just
maybe.
say
Who knows?
these tickets are not
Yeah,
selling and we're going to lose our ass, so fuck it? But why wouldn't they just be honest? Like, I had tickets to go see
Yeah.
Helmet here in Knoxville at a club called the Mill and Mine,
yeah,
and they had only it's a 1,200 or like a 1,600 cap space, and they made an announcement. Helmet dropped the whole tour. They canceled the whole tour. And the Mill and Mom were like, well, they had only pre-sold 212 tickets.
Ooh, damn.
I was like, that band's been Helmet's a big band. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not a huge
Yeah.
band, but they've got hits. They've
They
been
are,
around
yeah.
since the 90s. I bought my ticket the day they went on sale. It was like Helmet going on sale this Thursday, and I bought
Yeah.
my tickets that very, and they were like $22.
Yeah.
We're listening to Helmet on the way to Asheville today, actually.
Nice. Wow.
Dude, such a fucking underrated band.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah, agreed.
I've never seen them live. And that tour got that same week. That Helmet tour and the Bad Religion tour both got canceled that same week, and the same day my tickets were refunded to my card.
Oh wow.
I was like, well,
Damn.
I
Yep.
had a
That's weird.
little financial upswing today for my
yeah.
thankfully I've seen Bad Religion a bunch, but Forrest has never seen them.
Oh,
And
damn.
I was like, God, as soon as it got canceled, I was like, oh, I bet he's crushed because he's never seen him.
Damn.
He's a big Bad Religion fan.
I've seen them a lot. I've seen them
Yeah, me too.
a good handful of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, Bad Religion is one of those bands that I don't know how, but I've seen them since like 98. I think I've seen them like 11 times.
Yeah.
They're just one of those bands that I've had because a lot of times you want to see a band, but just shit happens.
Right.
They're one of those bands that has come around a lot, and it's like
just
happened to
worked
be
out
on
every
weekends
time.
where I can
Yeah.
pull it off.
Yep.
Because like I said, there are these shows that I want to see. Like basically anything you guys get in your DC, Baltimore market,
Yeah.
that shit comes to Nashville. But like,
Yeah.
I can't just go drop everything on a Wednesday night to drive to
Right,
Nashville
right.
in a different
Yeah.
time zone, 3 hours, and be home the next day at work at 6 a.m.
Right.
Yep.
So like, fucking Sloppy Seconds played Nashville 2 days ago, and I wanted to go to that, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to go to Nashville on Sunday and be at work.
Yeah.
I don't get home to 4 a.m. and I'm going to be at work at 6. Fucking no
Yeah.
way.
Fuck that. Yeah.
It's hard enough to drive an hour to DC from here
Yeah.
Yeah.
to do our shows and
Yeah.
try to be at work the next day, which I never do. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that Blitz Kid show sell out?
I don't know if it's if not, is there's like 2 or 3 tickets left. I mean, I think there was 8 tickets left a week ago. I have to fucking go to work right after that show, by the way.
Oh, damn.
I
that
took off,
sucks.
I took off that day, but I'm filling in it for the ops chief that night and nobody else can do it. And they were like, any chance you could just come into work after that show? I was like, you motherfuckers. I was like, God damn it. Fine. All
That
right.
sucks.
So yeah, I'm
No
working.
no partying on Halloween for
No,
Ron.
there will be no drinking. I was like, yeah, I should just show up fucking wasted. Like, you motherfuckers wanted me here. Here I am.
Just walk in like
Yeah.
fucking a half empty bag of
Yeah.
your favorite Halloween candy. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be here. Happy fucking Halloween. You're gonna deal with it, or I'm going home.
Just bring them tidings of Palmer's chocolate, Ron.
Ooh, yes. I have plenty of that to go around.
Oh man.
But speaking of having to be at work after doing things, I got to be up at like 5:30
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we gotta cut this. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
I don't even know
thanks,
what time it is. I've got to be up in like
It's
I gotta be up
12:30.
at 5 a.m. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't work until tomorrow night, but I have to pee really bad. So you guys have to sleep. I have to pee. So let's cut
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Mike,
Thanks
we'll-
for doing
we'll-
this with me.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'll put all the links and shit
And-
for the record on the podcast, and we'll this will be out Sunday. So
Cool. Love you, dudes.
all right,
Yeah.
man.
You too,
See you,
Mike.
Mike. Thanks so much for doing this.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you all. We'll talk to you
Yeah.
soon.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Later, guys.
Later.
Later, brother.
How do I do this shit? I can still hear you. So what do I have to press? Close.